So the first topic I'm going to talk about is that a sequel to Alien Romulus is in development. Now, I loved Alien Romulus. I thought it was the best third Alien movie in the franchise, and I felt like it got the franchise back on track. Like it made me excited for new Alien movies. And the movie made over 300 on an 80 something budget. So this movie was like a financial hit. It got positive reviews, and I love what the head studio boss said from 20th Studios, where he talked about that people love the characters of Wayne and Annie, an idea of seeing more stories with these characters. Because I always say this, I'm a story and character person. And look, whether it's horror movies, slasher movies, action movies, any type of genre, to me, having at least one character or a few characters you care about, to me, adds even more intense. And like the Alien Romulus did a great job of getting back to the horror and testing vibe of those first two original Alien movies. One of the other things they did a great job was I've loved the Wayne and Annie character. I love that brother and sister relationship in the movie. Like I want to see more stories with those two characters. Like one of the things that made the first two Alien movies great was you cared about the characters. And it added even more tension because you were worried about the characters being in danger. And to me, if you do a sequel, yeah, I want to care about the characters. When you do a sequel, I'm excited to see where you take these characters next because I think there's a lot you could definitely, even more you could explore between this relationship between this android and the Wayne character. The fact that she's human, he's an android, and I think they just had a great chemistry. Those two actors, the way I felt like they really felt like brother and sister to me. So, like to me, like I know some people would say, "Oh, you don't need characters in a horror movie," but I disagree with that. Like I look at a movie like Thanksgiving that I enjoyed. It was a fun slasher movie, but to me, like I said, what made those first two aliens and the Alien One was great was you cared about the characters, and that was one of the things that was definitely lacking in the Alien movies after Aliens, where I didn't, like I look at Alien West West and the AVP movies, Alien prequels. I didn't really care much for the characters in those movies, but Alien Romulus did a great job of making you feel invested in the Wayne and Annie characters. So I definitely can't wait to see more stories and. Sounds like Freddy Alvarez hasn't officially signed on to direct the movie, but I think the head boss was saying like he had some ideas. The report is saying he has some ideas that where he would go with the franchise. I definitely am curious to see where he would take this franchise next. So it's not like I'm not surprised that Alien Mama sequel is in development based on how financially and critically it did, but I'm just like for the first time I'm excited for the Alien franchise again. So to me this is great news. The next topic is that apparently the studio head of 20th Century Fox Studios also talked about the Predator franchise. And the first part I'm going to talk about is the fact there's a secret Predator movie coming out next year, which I'm definitely curious that they completed a Predator movie that nobody knew about. So I'm curious, like, what it's going to be. It sounds like it's going to be straight to streaming, not a theoretical movie, which, I'm disappointed that if that's true. Like, it doesn't like it sounds like it's gonna come out before that part of Badlands movies, but it was confirmed it's coming out next year. And the thing that makes me excited about this is the fact that it's directed by the director who did Prey. Was I love that movie. To me, that was a movie that just got me excited for the Predator franchise again. Because as someone who loves the original Predator, every Predator movie after the original I thought was either okay, like enjoyable, or terrible. Prey made me excited. I know you also have the Prey sequel coming at some point, and if you watch the credits for that movie, it kind of hints where they could go with the Prey sequel. And I love the main character in Prey. So I just think it's great that you have like the upcoming Predator movies. And it sounds like this director Prey, since he's the one directing the Secret Predator movie, it sounds like he had a bunch of ideas to besides the Prey sequel where you go with the Predator franchise. So it's just a great time to be a Predator fan. I mean, just to me, it's great to like as an Alien and Predator fan to see both franchises back on track and excited for the future of these franchises. The next part of this I'm going to talk about is that Predator Badlands is taking Marcel Lee's Blade release date since that movie is undated now. And like I said with the Secret Predator movie that's coming out next year, I mean, next year you're going to have two Predator movies come out in a year, which is the first time for a Predator movie first time you have like this many Predator movies coming, which is great to see. Again, this is a now this I am glad that this movie Predator Badlands is going to be put in theaters because I understand why they did that with Prey. Because coming off the Shane Black's The Predator, which I think was horrible, and if you enjoyed or love that Predator movie, that's great. But I think that's the worst Predator solo movie. Like to me, the worst Predator movie Alien vs Predator Requiem, but if you're not counting the AVP ones, then The Predator would be the worst Predator movie in my opinion. And it's just great to see that this franchise is just back on track and we're getting so many Predator movies. Like I'm curious to see when Prey 2 is gonna come because I love the main character in that and I want to see more of a continuation of that story and that character. But I'm just happy like you got at least two Predator movies come out next year and then Prey 2 in development whenever that's coming. So it's a great time to be a Predator fan also. The next topic I'm gonna talk about is the fact that they they also talked about the idea that I like this too. They talked about how maybe someday they'll do an Alien vs Predator movie, but they're not just gonna like throw it out there. Like they want it to like organically do it at some point. Which I'm glad to hear that. As a Predator Alien fan, I enjoyed the first Alien vs Predator movie, but it's not like I thought it was great. And Alien vs Predator Requiem I think was terrible. I do like the fact they're not just like gonna like if they ever do an Alien vs Predator movie, they're not gonna just throw it together. These two popular monster creatures are gonna like organically build up to it if it ever happens, which is great to hear because to me, I think you could make a great Alien vs Predator movie. I just don't think those two previous two would. Again, like I said, I enjoyed the first one. I had a decent time with it, but neither of them were great. The last topic is Spider-Man 4 is coming out in 2026. It has a release date. It's coming after Avengers Doomsday, but before Avengers Secret War. So it's set between the next two Avengers movies. And I think this is interesting because I'm going to guess this is hinting that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to play a big role in those two movies. And obviously, with his Spider-Man trilogy ending his high school years, and the next Spider-Man movie being him in his college years, I could definitely see him like being taking more of a not a leadership role in Avengers movie, but definitely a more bigger role in those movies. And the fact that Robert Downey Jr. going to cast as Doctor Doom, I'm thinking there's going to be some couple of scenes between him and Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So this is definitely making me think he's going to play a big role since this movie is between those two movies. And I'm just excited for this movie, period, because I love the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. To me, that's one of the best MCU trilogies. And one of the reasons for that is because I think that just did a great job of telling a great story in a trilogy where it really did a great job of telling you like showing you Peter Parker's high school years. I think that did the best job of showing his high school years and him growing into the Spider-Man from the comics. And I love the fact that Tom Holland said like he would only do Spider-Man 4 if they have a great script. To me, it shows how passionate he is about the character because I love him as Spider-Man Peter Parker. And I think it's really exciting to see like where you go with this version of Spider-Man in his college years. So definitely excited for Spider-Man 4. That's all my thoughts on the movie topics. Until next time, movie fans.